Good morning, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. Jumping right into my watch list for today. The only one out today with news that interests me a little bit is this RXT. We had that gap up a couple weeks back on the Palantir partnership, and it's just been grinding higher. It's been a little bit of a difficult one, and we pretty much have gotten this 4-day pullback on decreasing volume into that 10 EMA, and now we have this PR out this morning giving it a little bit of a boost. Something that it reminds me of is this NUAI, back when they were getting into data centers over here, where we just have this move up and this pullback on below average volume, and then we have a leg up, and then the continuous just 2 DLV where every time it pushes up on increased above average volume and range, and then it pulls back on lower decreasing volume, and it just starts to grind higher from there. So I'm just looking for the same thing out there, and if we kind of zoom out a little bit, we could see some clear levels up here in the 350s area. So maybe we do get a little bit of a just daily continuation to that level, and then two of potential continuations. PL, which has just been kind of building higher lows here, and I mean essentially just flagging out a little bit. This has been a great one since the earnings gap consolidation, earnings gap grind, and now just building out here, kind of like it has in the past. So any push through that 26s, it got rejected on Friday. That pretty much got rejected. It was moving not with, but RCAT, and RCAT pretty much just gave back that entire thing. But PL has been holding quite well. This is a satellite name, so it's not essentially drones like RCAT is, but this is just two notable ones that I saw moving on Friday. So it's squatted back in, and now it's just building inside. So anything through there, and then DELL had a gap up a couple weeks ago on their earnings, and it kind of feels like it could use a little bit. I mean, even if it's just one more day, I don't like how I don't like these soaks. And even though in the long term, I mean, it's good. 140, 160s is soaking, but and that also is some key levels from back here and even back in December. But when something soaks and then it pushes up, I just don't feel as comfortable as if maybe it closed a little bit lower. Because if you look at it like this, you're essentially if it comes from 141, you're taking it at 146. It's soaking that, and then you take it the following day. So it's not too extended, but you have to keep in mind that it had a nice move into the end of the day, and now you're essentially taking it up here. So I would like to see it kind of build a little more, but otherwise, just good relative strength here. And then just briefly, I mean, not that I have interest today, given the range and I mean where it's coming from, but LITH, COHR, AXTI. I mean, these are just some names that are showing a little bit of strength as well, coming back on yesterday's push in the market, and then SNDK, just another one that's gapping up through here. But those are just going to be ones that I take note of and see how they go from there. That's what I got. I'll pass it over to Josh.
Yeah, good morning. I have this UMAC on my watch list. This is a drone name. It had earnings and then kind of closed at the middle of the range yesterday. I'm gonna look for continuation. Just the weekly chart is something that I really like the look of, and I like the theme as well. Um, you know, we're spending a ton of money on drones for this war effort with Iran, and that's where you saw RCAT running. I like the way UMAC is holding even more, and the weekly structure even more. So if the market kind of holds today, will be something that I look for a trend. And I'm also going to be watching the USO. Um, this is kind of a first bounce attempt, and we'll see if lower highs get made. And if that happens, maybe the indices have another potential trend. But we have to see. They traded pretty well hand in hand yesterday as the USO started to fade off, and Trump started talking about de-escalation, and people started interpreting it that way. And the oil news on strategic reserves, you saw the inverse trade happening, USO fading drastically, and then the indices and the markets in general getting bid up. So that'll be a relationship that I'm looking at for the near term. As long as this conflict is going on, I think it's relatively important to have on your screens, even if you're not trading USO. The inverse relationship that it's having with the market right now is a pretty big correlation. So it's something that I'm going to have on my watch list. Crypto, I like the way that Bitcoin is holding for now. Circle has been the standout, but I'm going to be watching Hood this morning. If 78, 77 area holds on and we start to grind throughout the day, maybe get to the higher end of this range, 85, 90. So this will be a name that I'm watching. And then the IGV is still hanging in there. So I will be watching within the IGV. I'll be watching NOW, which had a really nice move. Probably a couple of days sideways would be better than today. But if the IGV wants to continue to go up and buck the trend that it's not going to be replaced overnight, NOW would be something that I'm looking at. Palantir and Microsoft, I believe, are the highest weightings in the index. So I will see how Palantir and Microsoft and Oracle. Oracle's got to be another one. That's really high up in the ratings trade today. But that could be a nice trender as well. And that's it for me this morning. Market's still pretty choppy, even despite the rally yesterday. So let's see how we go from here. Passing this right along to Emil.
All right. Morning, everyone. For me this morning is going to be MU. I like mostly the fact that had a pullback yesterday and been grinding all day, and also find some support here and close strong now, slightly gapping up, but I'm going to watch. I'm not really interested in doing anything here unless it's going to give some sort of a washout after the open, see if it's going to, retest pretty much the levels from yesterday. Ideally, it's going to go slightly lower. So I'm going to look for 385-ish area, see if there's going to be any pullback against that level. And then I'm going to be looking for a long trade there. Also, same thing goes to NVIDIA. I would really like to see a pullback slightly lower, ideally into 179-ish 50. We are going to see if this thing is going to happen, but so far I like the fact that we have these past few days going sideways now. 2 days ago and yesterday, Friday and yesterday been pretty much, the close from yesterday been at the same level as Friday highs. So this morning appears to that level now. It's pulling back. So I'd really like to see if at some stage it's going to find some support. Then I'm going to watch for long trade there. Overall market it's going sideways. We are not out of the woods. QQQ looks pretty choppy so far. I'm not going to give a full bias and any direction. Mostly I'm going to watch for reactive trades. It really depends how this the prices are going to act after the open. So doesn't matter really to me in which direction, but so far on these, with yesterday's pullback, I am going to watch for some sort of a continuation. We shall see if today it's going to hold or not, but either way, HIMS, another name I'm watching, they had a big gap based on the news with NVO. And we shall see if this one is going to, again, give some dips versus 22-ish or any build up above, 2250. Then I might look for a continuation on this one. TER, same thing here. TER had had a nice bounce yesterday. Pretty much yesterday's been more volatile than Friday. So I'm going to watch for any dips versus more or less. Ideally, I would really like to see it, into this area 287.50-ish for a long trade. Then I'm looking also at an SNDK. Same thing here. So most of these trades I'm going to watch them for a continuation now. SNDK has some sort of resistance here. We shall see if it's going to push or, give that pullback. But if it's going to push out of the gate and fail here, I'm not going to shy away for a short. But keep in mind, I'm looking at these, like I said, trading vehicles. I'm looking for intraday trades for the time being. I'm not really trying to nail a direction or all-time highs. We are way. I mean, long time no see on this type of trades looking for something big to happen, but most likely it's going to be a chop fest. So that's pretty much what I'm watching today, and wish you all good luck.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Emil. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Hope you guys all have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you guys all in the room.